Welcome to Creators Corner with me, Will, from Outright Geekery and the OK Boomer podcast. And tonight's special guest is Tim Jones of the Sour Grapes comic strip. Tim, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, great for you to be here. Why don't you tell us how you got started in the comic strip business?
Well, going back to early, the late, what was it, 1997? Didn't know what to call that, so I'll just say 1997. I had a strip called Every Blue Moon, and it actually involved my current character Aesop, and the other characters. And Every Blue Moon ran in about a half a dozen newspapers locally. I'm in Rhode Island, by the way, and it did well. But it was hard for me to develop it, so I put that aside and went on to some other stuff. Came out with a comic strip called Job Shop for a little while. I drew that, and I had a writer, Paul Nardizzi, who is a professional comedian, and that lasted a few months. And then I decided to put that aside and do some other things like Life, and then in 2013 I started up Sour Grapes. Always wanted to do comic strips and cartooning since as long as I can remember, which isn't too far back, but 5 minutes ago actually. And always doodling in the back of my notebooks in high school and that, and going into college. I was an art major and still did that, and that always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to do a comic strip. I actually had a comic strip in the high school newspaper for a little while, now that I think of it, called Beasley the Bee, and that was a stretch, and but I don't remember how long that lasted. But flash forward to doing it now, it's been quite a ride. I'm happy with Sour Grapes now, so that's where I am now.
And how many newspapers do you have in syndication right now with you?
I've got it in 28 newspapers right now. Trying to fish for a little more. It's tough right now for what's going on in the world, but I've been in those papers for quite a while now, and I've been lucky to stay in there so far. So far so good.
And those are coast to coast?
Yeah, one in a lot of it's in Rhode Island. Some of it's in Massachusetts. There's one in Texas, and there's one in California. So, waiting to hear on a couple other ones out there. I'm trying to fish out to more papers out into the country. So, because I'm greedy, and so yeah. Back, it's I can officially say I'm coast to coast. So
you've been doing Sour Grapes for a few years now.
Yep. 2013 it started up.
And you've got a big presence at all the local conventions except for 2020 because it wiped out everything.
Yeah, no presence this year, that's for sure. But it's been great going to being a part of conventions in the past. Always wanted to do that. I remember walking around Rhode Island Comic Con when Sour Grapes first started, and seeing all these people that I started to get to know that were artists and that, and had were set up at the Comic Con and that. And I remember saying to myself, my turn's coming. I wanted to be a part of it. And sure enough, I think my first Comic Con was 2015 at Rhode Island Comic Con. Yeah, and ever since then, I've done as many as last year. 2019 was the most Comic Cons I've ever done, which was a lot of fun. And you get to meet nice people and a lot of pros and that, and get to make a lot of friends and that type of stuff. So it's been cool. It's different being a comic strip artist, because you walk through Comic Cons and you see a lot of comic book artists, illustrators and graphic novel artists and stuff, which are fantastic. And but it was I kind of felt out of place, but not really. I knew what I was doing was unique, and you don't really see that too much at a Comic Con, but it was just I felt, as time went along, I felt more like I belonged at a Comic Con, because it is a comic. It's just in short form, if you want to put it that way. So, but now, going to Comic Cons is great for me. I meet a lot of readers and stuff, which is worth its weight in gold in that. So it never gets old to hear someone say, "I read you every week," or something in this paper, or see you online or whatever. So, that's what's great about Comic Cons. You meet a lot of these people and make new fans of the strip. So yeah, it's been good.
And last year was your biggest year for conventions. About how many shows did you do?
Oh, geez. I can't count right now. It was just a lot. I did a lot last year. I want to say maybe at least 10 that I did. And that's not counting I do other events as well. I'm a member of ARIA, which is the Association for Rhode Island Authors. Big plug. And so they do some events. I did the Rhode Island Author Expo, which is in December every year at the Rose and the Patuxent. So that's, other events. I might do a artist market kind of thing every now and then, and other separate events. And I visit schools. I or speak at schools and that, and other things like that. So it's not just Comic Con. So I kept myself busy last year. Let's just put it that way. But lots of fun, lots of work, but lots of fun.
And what kind of I know you have some compilations of your work. How many are you up to of like the flip books?
1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 or 5 compilations. I have to look. Pretty sure it's 4 or 5.
So at least 4.
Is it 4?
It's at least 4.
Do you know it? Do you know better than I do? I don't know. You probably do. Yeah, it's 4 or 5. But and I have a couple of coloring books starring Aesop and Ominous as Pet Cloud. So one that came out beginning of this year. So and I'm always wanted to put out another compilation. I always put out a compilation every year that covers the year going and maybe a little bit of the year it came out. But this year I don't have anywhere to take it. So I haven't done one yet, but I will. I promise I'll do one.
A double-sized issue next year.
Double-sized issue, yes. You can use it to hold up your coffee table if you have a broken leg. So,
and we've seen you at many of the conventions with extra stuff, extra merch, T-shirts, hats.
I had some shirts. I used to have stuffed animals of Aesop, and actually, this is a big one that someone made for me. Okay, and so I had that. I had some hats made. I had other little trinkets and stuff. So you come to my table, looks like a sour grape steak sale. Yeah.
A little bit of merchandise here and there, along with the books.
Yeah, I kind of thinned out the crowd, as it were, right now. But
Yeah, for this year, the way everything's going, yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to concentrate more on the artwork now than I am trying to make someone look like a sour grapes tourist, you know. But yeah, so I try and make some money somehow.
So, what were some of your big influences?
You mean artists and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, for artists, of course, it's Charles Schultz. Um, he's my big influence. Charlie Brown and Snoopy, especially on my style. Um, he, Charles Schultz was so simple, um, especially in his line work, and his writing was great, and his characters were obviously memorable, um, and just everything about it just really spoke to me when I started doing comic strips and that. Um, and Jim Davis, Garfield. Um, I'm a big fan. I've always been a big fan of BC and Wizard of ID and Hagar the Horrible. I tend to gravitate towards the simple stuff, you know. Um, I'm not the. I'll be the first one to say I'm the greatest artist in the world, but I do my best, and but it's more important. They always say that the good writing carries bad art. Not that I gotta pat myself a little bit on the back. Art's not that bad, and but great art doesn't always help with bad writing. So um, concentrate on the writing itself, and the art. The art will always follow. But as far as characters go, I made sure that at least my characters were recognizable, especially with Aesop. Aesop's been around for a long time, and I really worked on him to make him something that people would really recognize, not only the way he looks, but his personality and quirks and all that stuff. So all that's important when you're creating characters for a comic strip or even comic books for that matter. And I've always loved the Bugs Bunny cartoons and especially Hanna-Barbera. There are a lot of Hanna-Barbera influence in my characters a little bit, and so uh, some of the cartoons today. So I just kind of plastered with all this visual aids and influences and stuff for my strip. So hope that answers your question.
Keeping it simple.
That's right.
And I hear from someone that you did some stand up.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I did. I did some stand-up comedy for a while when I wasn't doing any comic strips, and because I wanted to, in retrospect, I wanted to with stand-up comedy, you learn about beats in telling a joke and the construction of a joke and delivery and all that stuff and um, how to bomb on stage, which I got plenty of, and so it was a good experience for me because I learned all that stuff. And when I stopped doing stand up, I used that experience when I went back into doing a comic strip. Um, stand up comedy in front of people is a hell of a lot different than doing comic strip, but the principles still apply as far as the basic structures of a joke or a gag kind of thing. So, um,
Yeah, 'cause you have to time it out in 3 panels and be done.
yeah, timing's important too with comedy and that. So, I did a lot of studying comedians on TV, um, and reading other comic strips and funny books and that, just to see how everybody um, is funny and how and why are they funny, and just took all that stuff and put it into what I do now, and it helps. It really does. You know, you get a rhythm, and you. The good thing about it is if it's not funny and you bomb, you don't see anybody not laugh. You don't see anybody getting up and finishing their drink and leaving. You know. So, but yeah, so that was quite a while ago that I did that, but I brought the comedy into the script and into just my personality and that. So
You're also in the Cartoonist Society.
oh, the National Cartoonist Society. Yeah, I got in. I was accepted into that in 2018, and that was uh, a big what's the word I'm looking for? Step in my career. Because now I'm in the ranks with all the big shots. You know, in that it's not easy to get into. You have to get reference letters and you know and show your worth and stuff like that. And but I got in to my surprise. Anyways, I didn't think I was going to get in, and I actually had to think. You know, if I don't get in, you know, I would probably start to second guess what I was doing because I really wanted this to happen. Like I said, it was a big step in my career to keep this going. And I got in, and I'm really happy to. It was a great honor. I've met a lot of people through it, whether online or on the phone and stuff like that. They're all your peers. Throughout the country, it's great. You get kinds of support. I get little perks from it, and I get to be with um, wherever they set up a booth at like a Comic-Con. I get to go there and be a part of it. That's what you saw me at Rhode Island Comic-Con at,
Yeah.
at the NCS booth. So, and I get to hang out with some big shots and that. So, it's great. Yeah. So that's been quite a ride in itself. So.
Yeah, you were double dipping. You had your own booth and theirs.
Well, there was one year where that happened. Yeah, I got a booth and I didn't realize that I could be over there. I remember one of them coming over to me and saying, "What are you doing here? You could be over here with us." And I went, "Oh." So I had my friend stay at the booth, and I went over to the NCS booth and brought and just hung out over there, and people were going to my table, and he was sending them over to the NCS booth so I could sign the books. So it was fun. I didn't realize. So of course, ever since then I would go to the booth. When they have one. They're not at every Comic-Con, but that one they are. So that's a lot of fun.
And you do sketches at the cons like most artists.
Yeah. I was doing just drawing to the kids. The big thing I would bring some of my stuff with me. You have a lot of kids and young artists come by, and I would show them how I would do the strip, and I do it. See this, and I put the words in here, and I ink it like this, and this is the structure, and I'll show them, and then I'll have some prints, and I'll show them, hey, it winds up looking like this, and it's great. I might draw them a picture of Aesop and stuff, or if they buy a book, I'll draw. Pictures of Aesop in there for them and that. So yeah, it's a great thing to be able to do that.
And tell us more about what you do when you visit the schools, not in 2020.
When yeah, I had to think of that for a minute. So I can you see me, by the way?
Yeah.
You can't. I'm on a booster seat, so
I can see you from about here up.
see, I can do my own short jokes. All right. So what was the question? Oh, last year at schools. I would some schools would invite me over to talk to the kids about cartooning and what I do and that. I had for the younger kids, I've been to the high schools to talk to the students, like the seniors and juniors that are thinking of going on to a career in art, and always ask them the same question: why would you do that? But just kidding. And so yeah, that's a lot of fun. I would draw with them, and I would also do after school enrichment programs with the kids. So kids that are want to stay after school, and we'd always have a drawing that I would do with them. Draw Captain Underpants, or teach them how to draw Aesop or one of my other characters, or and ask them one week, what would you like to draw next week, and I would show them what goes into that drawing as well. We'd be teaching them. We wouldn't just do a draw along. So yeah. Hi, Paul. I see people's names coming up. So I saw Mike Wilkie and Brad Perry and Paul Brown now. This is wonderful. So you don't mind me waving, do you?
No, I'll wave too.
Okay. So yeah, it was one school had me come in and was the health class and wanted me to talk about I had a heart attack last year, and they wanted me to talk about having a heart attack to the kids because they were learning about the heart and stuff. So I did that, but I also did some drawing with them too, so they had me there for two reasons, and so that was fun. So
Yeah, they won't invite me in to ask about my coma because I don't remember anything.
right. So why would you talk about it, right? I was asleep, boys and girls. Next, yeah.
I was asleep. I thought it was still winter, and it was the fall. But it was still snowing.
Yeah.
So, what plans are you looking forward to next year?
I don't know. I was lucky enough to have the South Coast Toy and Comic Show. That was in
Seekonk.
yes, thank you. In Seekonk. Was it Seekonk? No, not Seekonk.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the other. I'm thinking of Mike's show. Yeah.
What was that? Somerset? It was down 195 somewhere. I can't think of where it was. I'll think of it in a minute.
Swansea.
Swansea, thank you. Same town. And that was put on by Altered Reality Entertainment, who does Rhode Island Comic Con, Terracon, and Colorado Comic Con. And that was a lot of fun. That was in February before the plague hit, and so I'm hoping that I think they're gonna do that again. So I'm excited for that one because it's in February. You don't have to wait till March to have your first show. So I'm gonna try and hit as many as I can next year, and try and make up for this for 2020. So hopefully things clear up by then, as far as this goes. But anyways, so I don't know what that was. There we go. Okay, now I can see that. Okay. Not sure what that is, but we'll just ignore that. Maybe you know that person.
Let's see.
Phil. His name's Phil. It's alright.
I don't know how to block him off.
That's alright. So yeah, I'm hoping to do a lot next year.
Okay, that's good. And what were some of the comics you used to read when you were growing up?
Oh, I was a big Iron Man fan. Hands down, Iron Man. I'd pick up as many Iron Man comics as I could. And Avengers. I'm reading the Avengers. I did read some DC, and I I like the Legion of what's it? The Legion of Superheroes. Like,
Yeah.
Legion of Superheroes. I like that. I read Batman, some Superman, Green Lantern, that type of stuff. Um, but on the Marvel side, I read some Image too. Um, read some of those books and that. So. Um, More of a Marvel fan than anything else. So um, I got a good stack of Iron Man books that I like to read. So
Yeah, I just got a signed print that's on the way of Iron Man 129, Demon in a Bottle.
yeah,
Signed by Bob Layton.
oh cool. Yeah, I've met Bob a few times at some shows and that. He's a nice guy. Incredible artist. I don't know how he does it. You know.
Oh yeah, he just whips them out.
Matter of fact, I have an Iron Man up there next to all my other Iron Man stuff. I printed that out. That's not original because I just like the picture that he drew. Um, so and yeah, you gotta block this guy.
Yeah, if I knew how.
Wow. But anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of cool books that I've come across over the years. So hi Ben, how you doing? Stoking the
Ah,
Stoking
there we go.
Talking Dead. Sorry. Um, but anyways, so yeah,
Benjamin.
yes, it's Ben. Hi Ben. How you been, Ben?
How's the token dead?
The Talking Dead. That's right. Awesome thing they're doing. Awesome comic book series. Um, love those guys.
Yeah, I interviewed them at Rhode Island Comic Con last November.
Oh yeah, yep. I remember seeing them there. Yep.
They recognized me because I said, I'm going to be the fat guy in the wheelchair.
Wow.
And I went rolling in, hey, and he goes, yeah, we know who you are.
So yeah, so good stuff.
And I obviously know that you do appearances at local comic shops.
Yep. Yep.
That's where we met.
Yeah, that's right. Wild Time Comics in South Attleboro. Another plug. And uh, that's right. Yeah, that's in South Attleboro, right on Route One. And done free comic book day there for quite a few years. Great people. Randy, rock on, and everybody wants a great comic book shop. You can go down to Wild Time Comics in South Attleboro. That's my commercial right there. Yeah.
I'll have to call him and tell him, yeah, Tim did a commercial spot for you while I was interviewing him for Outright Geekery tonight.
Yeah. I just noticed that you blocked Ben.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Whoops.
You gotta unblock Ben. You can't block Ben.
I didn't block Ben.
That's what it says. It says Benjamin.
Oh, I did. It won't let me unblock him.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, Ben. I'm new at the StreamYard. I'm still watching videos on their YouTube channel so I can figure stuff out.
Well, maybe he'll send you a private private message. But anyways,
And are you reading any comic books nowadays? Now that we have plenty of time.
every now and then, I watch. I read. Some books. I just put that on Facebook last night that I was reading the Superman #1000.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Action Comics #1000 that I got a couple of years ago. And so every now and then I'll sit and relax. I really don't have a lot of time to read comics, but I do have a little collection. There you go. Is that it? #1000?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a different. They did different covers.
Yeah, that's the it's buymettoys.com black and white exclusive art germ cover.
Oh, cool.
And it's signed by Clay Mann and Tom King.
Oh, cool.
I get some nice stuff once in a while.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, stimulus checks. So, are there any big plans that you might be thinking about doing next year now?
As far as I don't have anything planned per se. I'm always, thinking ahead and that, thinking of doing a graphic, not a graphic novel, like a comic book starring Aesop. Starting to bring Aesop out of the comic strip a little bit and do maybe some adventures with him. Still Aesop, still the same character. I'm not changing anything or anything, but I was talking with someone the other day about starting to do that. So I was influenced by some of my friends that have been doing some comic books and that. So I decided, well, maybe we can see what else Aesop's going to do outside of the strip. So I can do that. Sometimes in the comic strip, you'll see episodes of Aesop with the snowman. And they have different characters, snowmen in that, and Aesop communicates with them, and there's jokes with that. And built those up over the years, so gonna try and put one together this year, a compilation of all those, just those strips, the snowman strips, into a book, and I was gonna have it ready for the end of the year, in the winter, obviously. That's another thing that's on my plate to do. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next year? We didn't know this was going to happen this year, so.
The Plague Part 2, 2021.
It better not be.
I know.
Almighty. So, it's safe, with all these, all these events and shows being canceled. I think it's for the best. We don't want people getting sick and that, so I think it's for the best. We don't want it to spread and that, but it is sad that we don't have anywhere to go as far as that goes. So, but the safety outweighs the want to be there. So, I'm in supporting of all the postponements of the shows and that. So, not a problem.
And how they're going to retool it with all the new regulations going in.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're starting to come back a little by little. So, hopefully it gets better. I think it will. everybody behaves.
We'll have to see. And you publish your new weekly strips in on Facebook and Instagram as well, correct?
Yeah, I post once a week on Facebook. Salad Grapes is a weekly strip. That's where it runs in the newspapers. So I do it. I am in a couple of monthlies, but mostly weeklies, and so I do weekly in Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Um, so you can see it all in those things there. So
So in case you're in an area that he doesn't have a paper yet, you can just read it on your phone, tablet, iPad, computer,
yep, you see it all
TV,
there.
with all the apps.
Yep, yep.
And where can everybody find you online?
Well, you can always go to my website, which is sourgrapescomic.com, and all my social media links are there. Um, and email and stuff like that. But if you want to be specific, you can go to facebook.com/sourgrapescomic. That's the Sour Grapes fan page, and you can find me. Just look for me on my regular Facebook page, and Instagram is Sour Grapes 2017, and Twitter is Sour Grapes Comic, and I have a Patreon page or site or whatever you call it, and that's patreon.com/sourgrapescomic, and hopefully we get some more people on that, and
It's only $1 a month, people. $1.
$1 a month. You can come and help Aesop and Sour Grapes keep going, and you'll see some special stuff on there. And once I get a good amount of patrons on that, I will start doing some more cool stuff. And the patrons that I have are enjoying some preview stuff. So they're seeing the strips, the strip ideas, or the work in processes before I release them, and other little things like that. So, but if I start getting more patrons, then I'll start doing some other cool stuff. Maybe have some other tiers, and you'll start. I'll start giving stuff away. So, and yeah, stop by there.
Well, Tim, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this episode of Creators Corner.
Yeah, good luck with this. I'm happy you had me on, and glad to be on, and humbled that I'm your first guest on this new show, and that. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Please check out all of Tim's strips every week on your social media platform of choice, and reach out to him and give him a like and a hey, how do you do? And he will see us in the funny pages.
Yes, you will. Oh, yes, I will. Is that how it goes? Yes, thank you. So thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Okay.
And we'll see you with another surprise guest next week. Take care for now.
Bye-bye.